Okay, great. So what I was talking about is data engineering. So we get the data from some databases. We may get the data from some applications. We may get the data from some file formats. We may get the data from some IoT devices. The first activity that we do is data engineering. So the data may get from these multiple data sources. We try to store the data in one single location, that is data lake. We will see in our upcoming classes what is actually the data lake. In a data lake, we try to get the data and we store it in a original format. If I get the data in the form of a JSON, I will be trying to store the format in the same format, same size. So data lake is nothing but a centralized large repository where we can able to store the data in the same format. Any amount of data we can store, any number of files we can store it here. It is a large repository. And then whatever the data that I got from the data sources may not be in a usable format, because if I wanted to use it, it should be cleaned, it should be properly processed, and it should not be having any duplicates, it should not be having any null values. So if I have to have a cleaned data, or if I have to do the analysis, the data has to be properly prepared. For that process, we are going to do the data processing. A data processing where we are going to prepare the data, clean the data, cleanse the data, so that whatever the data that I got from the data sources will be in a usable format for the analysis. So then the data I will be sending it to the data warehouses. A data warehouse is a enterprise platform where the entire enterprise data will be available here. So if you are having your data coming from databases, the data will be available in the data warehouse for the analysis. Applications will be available in the data warehouse for the analysis. So the data in the data warehouse is very useful for the analysis, and it will be in the form of a structured format. Here we are going to use the SQL language, and it comes up with a built-in query engine, and we are going to use the SQL language for the analysis. Whatever the analysis that you do, or whatever the analysis that you do, you are going to get some kind of a insights from the data. Those insights are very useful for the downstream people such as BI or the ML or the data scientist or some business groups. Okay, so this is how the flow is. Okay, as a data engineer, you will be working on this entire enterprise data, this data that is coming from the data sources, and you are going to send the data to the some downstream people. So these are your upstreams and these are your downstream. So the upstream provides you the data, this is your upper stream, this is your downstream. From the upper stream, you are going to get the data from them, and you're going to store it, process it, analyze it, and whatever the analysis that you do, right? So those analysis reports will be useful for the BI or ML or the data scientist or a business group. So this is how the data engineering will be. And not only that, one more thing is that we need to ensure the data governance and monitoring as well. So whatever the data that you get from the sources has to be, whatever the data that you get from the source is accurate, and the same data you are sending it to the destination. Okay, so you ensure the accuracy and completeness of the data as well, so with the help of the data governance and monitoring activities. So these are the things that we are going to see in our entire course. So what is data lake, what is data processing, and what are the tools available for the data processing, what is data warehouse, what are the tools available for the data warehouse, that we will see in our upcoming sessions. Okay, to give you some idea, so the example for the data lake, you can think of like HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system, and Amazon S3 buckets, Azure blob storages. Let me open my paint. So the example for the data lakes are, so we have HDFS, guys, Hadoop distributed file system. We have Amazon S3 buckets. We have Azure blob storages, And we are going to focus on this tool that is in the Google Cloud platform. We call it as a cloud storage. This is our Google Cloud platform tool. So it's called as a GCS, Google Cloud Storage. Okay. And similarly, when it comes to the data warehouse, we have a plenty of examples available. So if you go to a Hadoop, we have a Hive. If you go to AWS, we have a Redshift. If you go to Azure, you have a Synapse. And if you go to Google Cloud Platform, this is what we are going to learn in our sessions, BigQuery. Very, very important tool. You're going to spend your entire data engineering on the BigQuery only. 60 to 70% of your work is on BigQuery only if you're going to work in a Google Cloud Platform. Very, very important tool. And the next thing is data processing services. Okay, so there are plenty of data processing is something that you are creating a data pipelines, guys. So as a data engineer, we are going to create the data pipelines. Those data pipelines gets the data from these sources, send the data to the warehouses. Okay, gets the data from these sources and send the data to the warehouses. While doing it, we are going to do the transformations as well. While doing it, we are going to do the plenty of the transformations as well. So data processing systems are nothing but where we are going to create the data pipelines. A data pipeline is nothing but where we get the data from some source, we transform the data, we clean the data, we process the data, and we send it to the destination. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. So the data processing systems are like example for the data processing. uh, so if you go to we have a Databricks and we have a Spark, I would say Hadoop environment, Hadoop, and we have a Spark. So these are all the data processing systems available, and there are plenty of available also. But when it comes to the Google Cloud, we are learning about data flow, we are learning about data proc, and data fusion. Okay, so these are the three data processing systems that we are going to learn in our sessions. Okay, what is this one, sir? A data processing systems gets the data from some source, extract the data from some source, transform the data, and load the data to some destination. So this is what it will do. Okay, this is what it will do. Okay, those things we are going to create it with help of these tools like data flow, data proc, data fusion. I'm telling you, very, very important services. Data flow is for the Apache Beam with Python. We are going to learn about Beam pipelines. Data proc, we are going to learn about PySpark jobs. We are going to learn the Spark with Python. Data fusion is a tool where we are going to create the pipelines with the help of the user interface. Data flow and data proc are code-based tools. With the help of the Python, we are going to learn. But data fusion is an interface-based tool. That means you don't need to learn any coding. You don't need to have any coding experience to create the pipelines. So that's what the beauty about the data fusion. Very less they are using, but it's also an important service. And next thing is that, sir, you're creating a pipeline, but who will be orchestrating it? Someone has to orchestrate it. If you have this pipeline, or you may be working in a company, you will be having some 10 pipelines, you may be having some 100 pipelines. Which pipeline has to start when? How these pipelines are going to start? On what basis these pipelines going to start? Who will be orchestrating them? Who, if something goes wrong with the pipelines, who will be providing you that full details about this pipeline? So that's where we have a orchestrating tools also. Okay, orchestrator. This is also very important. So plenty of the tools are available in the, not plenty, very less services available in the uh, outside. You might have seen ADF, Azure Data Factory. Okay. So ADF, you might have seen ADF. Some people say Control M jobs. So in our Google Cloud platform, we have Composer. We are going to learn about Composer, which is very similar to Airflow. Okay, Airflow managed service is nothing but a Composer only. Okay, so these are the things that we are going to learn again. So Azure Data Factory and Control M jobs, or these are what they try to do is that, or a Composer, what they try to do is that if you have some 100 pipelines or 15 pipelines, it will try to orchestrate those pipelines. So this pipeline will start at 1 a.m. That pipeline will start at 2 a.m. That pipeline will start at 3 a.m. According to your requirement, it will start the pipeline at that particular time only. Every day, all of these pipelines has to run. Whatever the data processing pipelines that you have created, that has to run. So this is what the requirement. So for example, you have a data every day. People are using the applications, right? Assume like this. So this is your application. Assume that I have only one application. The data coming from only one application. Plenty of the people are using it. Plenty of the people. Every day people will keep on using it. So whenever a person is keep on using it, the data generated. So every day the data gets generated. And that data has to be stored in some lake, data lake, I would say. Don't confuse. And then the data processing system has to be running all the time, or at least running at a one time in a day. Okay. So now this data pipeline. So for example, this is what is I call as a data pipeline, sir. Pipeline, I would say. What this pipeline has to do is that this pipeline has to do at least run once in a day. So whenever this pipeline is running, it gets the data from this data lake. The data lake it will be having the data from the application. The data lake will be having the data from application, and the pipeline will extract that data, and it will try to transform it here. It will try to transform it here, and it will try to send the data to some warehouses. Okay, it will try to send the data to the warehouses. So this is our data warehouse. And in the data warehouse, what we try to do? So this is whatever the data that I got, I'm going to create it as a raw layer. So what I will do from the raw layer, I will try to analyze the data. So I will create some insight layer. Insight tables I will create. These insight tables are very useful. These are we call as the raw tables. These are we call as the insight table. These insight table is as per the business requirement. The client is asking like top 10 sales, top one product which has sold many times. So that as per the revenue, which is the top one product, as per the sales, as per the revenue. So based on the requirement, you are going to create some insight table. Those insight table are very useful for the BI team or ML team or whatever the business group for their analysis or for the business improvement purpose. So this is what happens every day. So now the thing is that who will be running this pipeline? Because I don't want it to manually run it. So I need some orchestrator to take care of it. And one more thing. So you see here from the raw tables to the inside tables, someone has to every day refresh this table, because raw table will be refreshed from this orchestrator. The pipeline, whenever the pipeline runs, this raw tables will update it. But these inside tables also should be refreshed, because when the raw tables are updated, the inside tables has to be the inside table query will be there, though those also to be updated. So that's where again the orchestrator is required. So for many of the situations here also some orchestrator is required. So to get the data from all of these things, to refresh the things, to correct to run the pipelines every day at some point of time, we need the orchestrator. That orchestrator is our Composer and Airflow. in our Google Cloud platform. So I'm telling you guys, if you focus on learning these 5 things like cloud storage, data flow, data proc, data fusion, and BigQuery, and Composer and Airflow, so that's more than enough to get a job easily, and it's not that easy to learn. So you may be learning this Google Cloud Storage and BigQuery easily. And not only that, maybe GCS is becomes easy, but BigQuery, Dataproc, Dataflow, Data Fusion, and Airflow, these are not that much easy to learn. Okay, here we are going to use SQL, and here we are going to use Python. Here also we are going to use Python. And don't think that how much difficult it is, sir. No, not that much difficult if you are focusing on everyday's class, and if you are putting your effort for 1 hour every day, then it's not that easy. It's not that hard. I mean to say. Okay, so the basic requirement for this particular course is the familiarity with the SQL is important, guys. I'm telling you, if you are familiar with the concept of the SQL, that's more than enough for this course, because in our course we are going to learn about this SQL development, and we are going to learn about the Python development with the help of the Beam. So that means I would say Beam development, Beam pipeline developments, PySpark development, and Airflow jobs. I mean to say DAG creations. We usually call it as a DAG. So DAG creation. So these are the very, very important industry requirement for the data engineer. So a data engineer must know about the SQL development, Beam development, PySpark development, and DAG creation. So these are the must. SQL development for the data analysis. Beam and PySpark is to create the data pipelines, and this is to data orchestration. So this is for the analysis, pipelines, orchestration. So if you learn these 4 skills, I'm telling you, no one will stop you to get a good job. Okay, so these 4 things that we are going to learn very, very clearly with the help of the very good examples as well as scenarios and projects and real-time events. Okay, and so far I have told you, I was talking about GCS, data flow, data proc, data fusion. So that's where I have given you some examples. But what is this Google Cloud Platform, sir? So far I have been talking you. So this is what is data engineering, sir. In a data engineering, we get the data from multiple data sources. We store it in a storage layer called data lake, and we send the data to the data processing. And again, we send the data to the warehouses. The data will be useful for the BI, ML, MS, and data business groups. And data will be ensured accurate and complete throughout the process. For that, we need to have a data governance and monitoring activities as well. Okay, so this is what is a data engineering. Next, you can see here, a data engineering is a process of collecting, organizing, preparing large amounts of the data so that it can be easily used and analyzed. Our main agenda is analysis only, sir. As a data engineer, our main agenda is going to be engineering the data, analyzing the data, creating the robust pipelines for getting the data from multiple data sources, processing it, sending it to the destination, and ad hoc queries for the analysis as well. The next thing, the role of a data engineer, he will be working on the data extraction, nothing but a data collection, data storage, and data management, because you need to have a scalable platform. First you need to first you need to think about which platform you are going to use it, whether that is scalable, whether that can able to withstand that much amount of data or not. And you need to worry about the access control as well, who will be having access to that particular system, and whatever the system that you have selected for the data storage, you need to ensure that all of these properties are there or not. So data storage and management is very important. Data processing, so you have a plenty of the tools, out of all of those tools, which tool you are going to use it, and why you are using it. If you're using it, how you are going to process the data, are you going to having any errors, and how you are going to fix it, how you are going to maintain the cluster. All of those things we are going to see in the data processing. And he will be working on the data quality and data governance as well, because data quality is very important. It's not that we get the data and we transform it, we send it to the destination. Whatever the data that you are sending it, right, it should be accurate. If it is not accurate, that's where the audit controls will happen and there will be a lot of problems. And system integration, see, we don't wanted to do any of these things manually, so we need to integrate the multiple systems. So that's where we are creating a data pipelines, right? So creating a data pipelines is also one of the activity for the data engineer. Performance optimization, very very important. People will be focusing on this thing many times, because see, we are working on some query, or we are working on some code, or we are working on some pipeline. So there can always be a problem with the query or a code or a pipeline. So the pipeline degradation may happen, the query may be taking a lot of time, the code takes a lot of time. So we need to look at the why it is taking a lot of time, and we need to, if it is failing, why it is failing, and we need to try to optimize it so that it will be working in an optimized manner. So that's the reason performance optimization is one of the major factor for the data engineering. And monitoring and maintenance, so very important aspect. This is also because you are having some 100 pipelines, someone has to keep an eye on those pipelines, if it is failing or if it is running. So if it is failing, that means the downstream people are get affected. That means the downstream people are not getting the proper data. That means the whatever the analysis that they are doing is not correct. So that's what there will be a plenty of complications when your pipelines are failed. So we need to properly monitor the pipelines. We need to have a trigger mechanisms if the pipeline goes wrong or if pipeline failed. We need to have a trigger mechanism so that we can able to, as soon as the pipeline is failed, we are going to fix it. So such kind of activities we need to take care. And whenever the pipelines are running, so you are using some packages, those packages are updated or not, those versions are updated or not, you are going to maintain it as well. So these are all activities that the data engineer do every day. He works on the data collections, he works on the data storage, he works on the data processing, he works on the data quality and governance, he works on the system integration for the pipelines, he works on the performance optimization, he works on the monitoring and maintenance as well. So all of these things are comes under the daily activities for the data engineering. Okay, I think this is it. Anyone have any questions on the data engineering, guys, before I go to the Google Cloud platform? If anyone have any questions, please raise your hand. Okay, please raise your hand. I will take it.
Yeah.
Raise your hand. I said.
Yep.
Yes, Dharmendra. Hello. Yes, Dharmendra. You wanted to talk? Okay, Vivekanand. Yeah. Snowflake is also one of the data warehouse. Okay. One of the data warehouse like BigQuery and Hive. Yeah. 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 No, no, no. No, no, it is not comes under GCP. Snowflake itself, it is a one of the cloud. Yeah. Any other? Yeah, Dharmendra, you wanted to talk? Jaideep.
Yeah. What do you mean by cluster over here?
I will talk about the cluster, don't worry. So in our sessions, we will talk about the cluster. Cluster is nothing but a collection of machines. See, I have a lot of data. A single machine cannot be able to store it, right? So if I think that our laptop, my laptop is like only 1 terabyte. What if I give you 2 terabytes of the data? What do you do? You will try to connect a one more laptop or a one more machine to it, right? So that's what is nothing but a cluster. A cluster is nothing but a collection of machines. One single machine cannot be able to handle the entire data, so we are going to connect to the multiple machines so that those multiple machines are act as a single machine, and they will be processing the data, they will be storing the data. Okay, data
Okay.
will be splitted and the data will be working in a multiple ways. So that is what is a cluster.
Yeah. And regarding the performance optimization, you will be teaching us the
Of
performance
course.
techniques as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
The prerequisite for this course is SQL, sir.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. No, you guys have to focus on the basic things of the SQL, and all other things are development side. We are going to focus on it here. Okay, basic SQL needed for this course. That's a prerequisite. Okay, guys, then I will give you time at the end also. So let us try to see what is a Google Cloud Platform also. Then I'll give you time for you to ask any questions related to any of this course, because we have time, right? So, which is also very important. As a part of this today's class, I have planned to cover this. What is Google Cloud Platform? I just wanted to cover what is Google Cloud Platform, because some people know it what is, and some people may not be knowing it. So let us try to cover what is Google Cloud Platform. So let me tell you. So Google Cloud Platform is nothing but a cloud computing services, sir. So for example, you might have heard about AWS. You might have heard about Azure. So what they do? So AWS and Azure actually provides you the cloud computing services. Okay, what actually happens in the real world, I will try to tell you so that you will get some idea. So what in the real world happens is that, see, earlier maybe 10 years before, for example, if you go to some 10 years before, maybe in early 20s, so what usually happen is that people have their business and they wanted to create the storage. So if they wanted to run their business, and each business have its own projects, to run those projects, what they has to do is that they have to maintain their own own data center. So in the company, they have to maintain own data center. The data center is nothing but a storage, a networking, CPU, RAM, all of these things they have to maintain on their own. All the machines they have to maintain on their own. But what happens is that toward the down the road, they are unable to manage their own systems. Okay, they are unable to manage their own system. For example, assume that they have a plenty of the data, and they wanted to create the pipelines, and they wanted to manage their data processing, and they wanted to have a data warehouse. So what they try to do is that they do not have any they do not have any managed services at that time. So they will take some laptop, or they will take some machine. On top of the machine, they will install the software that they wanted to do, and they will take the backup, they will create the network, they will create the storage, and they will make everything available over the network. Okay, so it's a time taking. First thing is, it is a time taking process. Okay, because you have to create your own machine. First thing, if you wanted to create your own machine, you have to buy that machine. Okay, you have to buy a machine, and then you have to configure that machine according to the requirement. Once you configure it, you whatever the software you wanted to install it. For example, sir, I have a lot of data, I wanted to install Hive. So you have to install Hive, and you have to take a storage of the Hive, and you have to take a backup of it. You have to take the networking components. So all of these things you have to manually take it. Okay, when you're manually taking it, there's a time taken for this query. So there's a lot of time taken. So you wanted to just store the data in the warehouse that is on the Hive, but you're taking a lot of time. So that time taken is very high, and you're putting a lot of efforts also here. What are those efforts, sir? So you need to recruit some guy to make networking. You need to have some storage guy, backup guy. Someone has to be take care of this rack and stack mechanism, everything. So for all of these things, we are going to spend a lot of money, efforts, and time. So the time is also taken very high. So that's where the companies don't want it to manage their own infrastructure. So this is what we call as an infrastructure only. Okay, the infrastructure is nothing but we call it as a software, hardware, networking, storage, everything we call it the infrastructure. So if you wanted to build your own infrastructure, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of efforts, it takes a lot of money for you to build this entire infrastructure. So that's where the companies don't wanted to manage their infrastructure. They were looking for some alternate solution. They were looking for some alternate solution. That alternate solutions are nothing but a cloud providers. So what the cloud provider is do is that, so the cloud providers came into the picture after, I mean, maybe last decade, the cloud providers came into the picture. You don't need to build this entire infrastructure. You can just rent it. See, it's like this. For example, if you got a job in Hyderabad or Bangalore, you have to go there and you have to stay there. If you have to stay, either you can build your own house or you can just rent it. Okay, so building your own house actually takes a lot of time, lot of efforts, lot of money. So instead, you can rent it. So you can rent it for some amount, some period. Then whatever the, I mean, how many years you are staying there, you're going to pay everything, pay accordingly. Likewise, the cloud providers actually provides you these infrastructure. Cloud provider provide you this infrastructure for you as a rent. So the companies actually rent this infrastructure. They rent this infrastructure. Okay, how you are renting your house, right? Home. Similarly, they rent the infrastructure from the cloud provider, and as per the rent, so whatever the resources they are using, whatever the infrastructure they are using, they just pay the money. They just pay the money. See, it's not like, so when you go and rent a house, you they are not going to spend, they are not going to take a lot of time, right? So if you need a house, right, they're going to give it today, and from tomorrow onwards you are going to stay there, or from the next 1 hour onwards you are going to stay there. Likewise, in the infrastructure here also, as soon as you have selected the cloud provider and as soon as you selected one infrastructure you need it for your requirement, then you can just select it, you can use it for the next minute onwards. Okay, there's no time taken, there's no delay, and you are not putting any efforts here, you are not spending a lot of money, the money is also reasonable. So that is the reason the cloud providers become um, very important nowadays, and everyone must learn about the cloud because the era is now cloud only. So instead of creating our own infrastructure, we can rent the infrastructure from the cloud provider. These cloud providers are mainly three cloud providers are there, guys. Okay, the main three cloud providers, the top three cloud providers are AWS, Azure, GCP. Nowadays, GCP having a plenty of opportunities because it's emerging. The services, the cost of this, the rent of this GCP infrastructure is comparatively less. Okay, the rent of that particular infrastructure in the GCP is less compared to the AWS and Azure. So that's the reason most of the companies are looking towards the Google Cloud Platform. Okay, the rent of that particular infrastructure in the GCP is less. So that is the reason they are using the GCP more than AWS and Azure. So that is the reason I also focused on the GCP. I want you to guys to tell you that there are the plenty of opportunities compared to the AWS and Azure in the GCP at this point of time. Okay, so this is the reason. So this is what is the cloud provider came into the picture. So the main intention is that these are the three problems: effort, time taking, money, and scaling. Also, when one more important point, scaling. You cannot scale it easily. So, if you wanted to scale, for example, assume that your business is doing good. So that means you need a one more. There are plenty of people are using your application. That means if there are plenty of the people are using it, your system has to handle. If your system is unable to handle, that means your entire website gets crashed. So you have to have a one more machine working behind the scene to take care of all of these things. But if you wanted to scale it, it's not that easy. You need to buy it, you need to configure it, you need to install it, you need to backup, networking, storage, everything you have to take care of it. Again, it's a lot of time that you are going to do it. Scaling is not that easy. Here, if you have one machine, you just select one more machine and add it to it. That's it. In a very within 1 minute itself, you can able to scale it. So automatic scaling is also there and manual scaling is also there. That's the reason cloud providers becomes very useful compared to the on-premises. So this is what we call as the on-premises working model. This is a on-prem working model or a traditional working model. People call it as traditional also. This is what people call as a cloud computing model, cloud computing working model. In this one, cloud provider provide you the infrastructure as a rent to you, so that whatever the infrastructure you use it and you pay the amount of money for that. And here on premises you have to maintain your own data center. So that means you have to maintain your own infrastructure here. Maintaining the own infrastructure takes a lot of time, a lot of efforts, and a lot of money. So that's the reason cloud providers came into the picture. Now, so one of the cloud provider and leading cloud provider is Google Cloud Platform. Okay, so one of that leading cloud provider is GCP, AWS, and Azure, and we are focusing on the GCP in this session. Google Cloud Platform is a suite of cloud computing services provided by the Google that offers a range of products and solutions that help organizations to build, deploy, scale applications and services in the cloud. So if you wanted to build an application, if you wanted to deploy one application, if you wanted to scale one applications, all the services required, all the tools required for this particular activity that the Google Cloud Platform provides you as a services to you. Google Cloud Platform provides as a services to you, right? And these services are highly reliable, highly secure, and scalable infrastructure that enables businesses to leverage the power of Google's extensive global network and data centers. Okay, so all of these services are somewhere available in some network and data centers. You are going to rent them and you are going to use it for your own applications, and how much you are using it, you are going to pay the money. That's it. This is what is a Google Cloud Platform, sir. Google Cloud Platform is nothing but one of the leading cloud provider. One of the leading cloud provider. It provides you the cloud computing services, which is useful for the organizations to build, deploy, and scale their applications in the cloud platforms. Okay. So what are the services that the Google Cloud Platform provides you, sir? Google Cloud Platform provides you the compute services. Google Cloud Platform provides you the identity and security services, management tools, networking tools, big data tools, storage and database services, machine learning services. As a data engineer, we need not to learn all the things because we are not going to work on all the things. Data engineer going to work on this big data, storage and database services. You can look at here. BigQuery I told, data flow, data proc, PubSub also I forgot to mention you. PubSub also we are going to learn. Cloud storage, Cloud SQL, and cloud storage is missed. Cloud SQL is covered. Okay, and Airflow is missed actually. Somewhere the Airflow will also be there. So all of these services that we are going to cover in our sessions, like whatever the things, big data plus storage and database services we are going to learn. So some DevOps engineer work on this compute services and IAM services. Some networking engineer work on these things. Some machine learning engineer work on these things. Okay, there are plenty of some application developer works on these things. So according to the developer, so Google Cloud Platform providing you all the services. So according to the work that you are doing, you can use those services. So if it is your application team, you can use those application related services. If it is a data engineering team, you can use the data engineering services. If it is a BI team, they can use the BI related services. Machine learning team, they can use the machine learning services. So Google Cloud Platform provides you suite of services. According to the requirement, you can select and you can use it. And this all of these things are, you can pay as you go model. That means you can use it as per the usage, you can pay the money. So this is what happens. So maybe from tomorrow onwards, we are going to start with the cloud overview. Why we need a cloud platform, on-premises versus cloud, and what is Google Cloud Platform, introduction, why we learn the GCP, what are the opportunities are there, services overview, something like GCP interfaces, console, cloud shell, and cloud SDK. Console walkthrough. And GCP locations, what is region, what is zone, what is importance of the regions and zones. IAM, identities, what is identities, what is a role, what is a resource hierarchy, what is the importance of these things. And networking basics, what is VPC, what is firewall, what is load balancing. So these are the things, basic concepts related to the GCP we must know once we learn the GCP basics. So these are the basic concepts, guys. It takes like 3 to 4 days. Once we complete this GCP basics, then we will be starting with the GCP data engineering tools. So we learn about the cloud storage, cloud SQL, Spanner, BigQuery, Bigtable, Dataproc, Data PubSub, Data Stream, Data Flow, Data Fusion, Airflow, function, cloud functions, IAM, data migration services, data transfer services, Terraform. So these are the things that we are going to learn. Okay, so all of these services, all of these concepts, we will cover first, and then we will be focusing on all of these services. Almost 16 services that we are going to cover in this thing. Very, very useful. Out of this one, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, these are the 7 services are very, very, very important. If you focus on these services, I'm telling you, you are getting a very good role with a very decent hike in the market. Okay, so these are the very important. I'm going to tell you all the services, but I will spend a lot of time on these 7 services more. Okay, yeah, so these are the services that we are going to cover. And course details, course going to take 40 days, guys. 40 days means 40 plus hours. Okay, 40 plus hours. Daily 1 hour, Monday to Friday. Online live sessions. So you will be having a video recordings. You will be having a comprehensive material. I will also share you the material, guys. So this is our material looks like. Here I have the course content and topic wise course content. I will share it with you. I'm going to share this entire notebook access. The basics that you have to cover, and GCP, Google Cloud, what is a Google Cloud, entire thing readily available. All the material is readily available. And what is a cloud storage, cloud SQL, Spanner, data warehouse basics, BigQuery, Dataproc, introduction to the Hadoop and Spark environment. We are going to learn about the PySpark also. What is Spark? What is PySpark? How to create the cluster? All the lab sessions also here. Data flow. What is data flow? What is the difference between the Spark versus data flow? And then the Airflow and data fusion, cloud functions. 1 minute, guys. The cloud functions. Okay, so all of these things that we are going to see, the material is readily available. I will share you this material also, and the interview questions also I will send it to you guys. The commonly asked interview questions for you to crack the interview easily, resume assistance, and the real-time projects and case studies also I will share it to you. And many scenarios and assignments also I will share it to you guys. So these are the things, these are the course details. 40 plus hours, it takes 40 plus hours. Sometimes it go 42, 43, 44 also. Okay, 40 plus hours we are going to cover. You can just say 45 hours. Within 45 hours we are going to complete. That means almost close to 2 months, I would say. Less than 2 months. Okay, so this is the duration, timings. Daily 1 hour timings, I would say the same time, 7:30 to 8:45. 7:30 to 8:45, sir, every day. And opportunities, the opportunities are very good, so you don't need to worry about the opportunities. And prerequisite, familiarity with the SQL is important, guys. So if you are having a SQL basics, that is more than enough for this course. Target audience, so who wanted to become a data engineer, aspiring data engineers, data analyst, data scientist, whoever wanted to become a data engineer from any field. Sir, I am from the production background, I am from the software background, I am from the testing, I am from the database, ETL developers, BI developers, whatever you are. If you wanted to become a data engineer, this course is for you guys, I'm telling you. Okay, those who are planning for the certifications like AS and PDA certifications also, this is a good course for you to crack it easily. I will also send you the dumps for the certifications. I will also share you the questions to you to track it. So I will also send you the dumps. Okay, so this is all about the course. Okay, so I have given you some idea about the data engineering today. I have given you some idea about the Google Cloud platform and what are the prerequisites for the course details, as well as the who wanted to be, I mean, the target audience for the course. So this is what we have seen today, guys. If you guys have any questions, please raise your hand. I will go one by one. Yes, Vivekanand. So for the fee details, you can connect with our team. So they will help you on the fee structure. Okay. You can just check it with my name. Yes, Sagar.
Yeah, sir. By completing this course, if I'm getting a job, then what is what is the ratio of survival? Is any I'm facing any difficulty
No,
or
actually, this course actually we are not just covering on a basics, right? So we are going to the advanced level. So this course actually gives you a very good understanding of all the things clearly, and we are also covering the real-time projects as well. That gives you idea. And I'm telling you guys, this is what we have to understand. So the for one guy who spent 10 years on the project, and if he goes to the one more company, right? He only have 60 to 70% of the knowledge, and he has to learn that 30% from the project itself. While working there only he has to learn. So the similar things goes for you as well. So even though you learn this entire course, you will only be having 60 to 70% of the project experience. When you're working in that particular project, right, you will be learning every day. So that's what happens. So even for the guy who is having a real-time experience, for those guy who is getting the knowledge from some course, very deep understanding of the knowledge from the course also, they are in the same page. Okay. So they have to put the efforts and they have to learn. Okay, there's no other way.
yeah? And what about the SQL basic, sir? Actually, I know the basic stuff, but while working with joins, is we require joins and everything.
Of course, of course. So for those who are planning to learn about the SQL basics, right, they can go to any YouTube channel with your own language. I'm telling you, some people come from north, some people come from south, some people come from Tamil or whatever you are. I'm telling you, select a YouTube channel with your own language. Maybe if it is Telugu or English or Hindi or whatever it is, go and watch it. Don't take a lot of time. If it is your own language, right, you will be able to understand it easily. So take your own language, try to understand it. The concepts are important. The basics are important. That's it. All other development skills we are going to learn with a very decent project I have in a BigQuery. With the help of that, I'm going to tell you how we are going to do the development, and I will also give you the assignments, right? So whenever we are having a requirement, right, whenever we are covering one tool, I will give you the assignments. Those assignments are will be very helpful for you to how to tackle that. So that kind of a mood set also will be having it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah. And yes, Jaydeep.
Is Python needed for the data flow data
Yes,
process?
Python is needed. Python basics are needed, but don't worry about those concepts. I will be covering.
Yeah. Okay, for sure, sir. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes. So someone was asking that are you covering the cloud pub sub as well, right? Yes, I'm covering the cloud pub sub as well. So I think it is not mentioned here. Pub sub is not mentioned here. That's wrong. Yeah, here it is mentioned, sir. Okay. Yeah.
What about this GCP account? Do we need to create on our own
Yes.
or
So for
admin
that one,
project can
for
change?
practice, right? For those who are worrying about GCP account, I will tell you how to create a GCP account freely without any effort. So you can create a GCP account with just 2 rupees. Okay, free account for next 3 months. Free for next 3 months. Okay, so you can use this GCP account. I will tell you how to create a free tire account in the GCP with just 2 rupees. Maybe you should be having a debit or credit card. Only 2 rupees will be debited for the next 3 months. You can use it for free. We have a free tire account option. I will tell you how to create that.
Okay.
Okay, all the things that we are going to practice it on the Google Cloud platform only, and I will tell you all of you guys have to create your own free account and you have to practice it there only. Okay, spend 1 hour for the this one and spend 1 hour for your learning. Two things you have to do every day. Okay, yeah. Yes, Rahil Khannoor. Yeah. Sorry, soft. No, no, it's on completely on the cloud. Nowadays, you go to any company, they are working on the entirely on the cloud. We don't need to install any softwares. Okay, all things will be available there only. I will show you. For example, so this is your Google Cloud platform. Let me go to the Google Cloud platform. So if you go to the Google Cloud platform, right? So this account even I have also created freely. So I will show you how it will actually show. This is how the Google Cloud platform interface looks like. Okay. And you can select the project here. You can create what any of the projects for your practice. A project is nothing but a collection of services. Okay, and you can see here it is a free trial status. I have left with 14,000 left with for next 26 days. Total they will give you some 24,000 for 90 days. Okay, 3 months. So it will be like this only for you, free trial status. And if you wanted to work, right, so for example, if I wanted to work with BigQuery, you can set with BigQuery here. BigQuery is available here directly. Okay, BigQuery is available, the editor. So this is the editor. You will be having the tables, you will be having data sets. All of these things are readily available. Sir, I wanted to work with the data prog. So you don't need to go to any other, you don't need to install any tools, you don't need to install anything. All the things are available here only. You can just work it here. Even in the companies also do the same thing. So that's what the specialty of the cloud providers. Okay, you have here the clusters. See, data pro clusters. You can create your own cluster and work with it. And likewise, data flow. So every service is available here. PubSub. See, we have seen one PubSub job last time. Yeah. So this is how. Yeah. Next question, please. Vivekanand. So that's what I'm telling you guys. If you spend 1 hour for the class, you spend at least 30 minutes on the practice. At least 30. Okay, 1 hour for the class, and put one more half an hour at least for the practice session. Okay, because I will be giving you the assignments. Okay, I will be giving you the assignments. You have to practice it. So at least 1.5 hour you have to have every day for you to attend the class and practice. So this is live session. This is practice session. You have to do. Yeah. So the salaries depends on your current package, guys. So the salaries always depends on, and the packages are very good, I would say. So with this course, I am gonna tell you, I have seen people who got actually. See, I will tell you like this. So from 6 LPA to you can go up to 15 LPA. Or sir, this is my first offer. Can I try for second offer? See, first offer, second offer, third offer. You can try for any number of offers, and your package keeps on getting increased. So this is how. So packages is already there. So you may be getting here 12 only. You may be getting here 10 only sometimes. So you have to multiply it. You have to increase it. So some 10 to 14, 10 to 14 to some 16. So this is how you can always say. It always depends on your current package. So if your current package is already high, then it is very good for you. So if your current package is already 12 and you are having only 30, 4 or 5 years of experience, you can go up to 18, 19, 20 also easily. So the packages are there. It depends on how you talk with the HR manager. It depends on your how many years of experience that you are holding, and it depends on your current package. Okay, three things. Okay. Yeah.
Plus, sir, one quick question. Actually, like in data pro, generally these clusters they
Yes,
create.
1 minute, 1 minute at a time, one people only. Okay, you can raise your hand. I will talk. I will pick to you. Yeah, Raja, you are asking something, right?
Yeah. So instead of creating a cluster, actually, like GCP is
I told
providing
you
any
only one
serverless
person at
part.
a time, right?
Yes.
Raja. Yeah, you can ask now. Not Rajkumar, Raja.
Yeah. GCP is providing any serverless Spark facilities?
Yes, of course, it is providing serverless also. So BigQuery is serverless only.
So through Dataproc, generally we are creating the clusters, the kind of the
Data
things.
flow is serverless. Dataproc is not serverless. So Dataproc is a managed instance. Serverless BQ, data flow, and cloud functions. These are all serverless only.
But nowadays there is a something like for Dataproc also there is a serverless
Yes,
concepts.
that is also there, but people are not using it. For the Dataproc also, they have introduced newly
Hmm.
Dataproc. Yeah, serverless platform. Yes,
So are
but
they using any kind of Databricks, sir, along with this Dataproc or
no.
along with our
Dataproc is a
Jupyter?
bit similar to the Databricks.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Yes, Rajkumar. Yes. Okay. Okay. So usually for 10 years of experience, that I'm gonna suggest you. So you should be not be working as a developer, I believe. So who are having 10 years or 10 plus years of experience, they will be working as an architect, I believe. So with these skills, you are going to after this skills, not only for you, for all of you guys, after this course, you're not just having this development skills. You are having a skills where if there is a requirement from the client, you can able to choose which service will be best for it, which service will be useful, or which service is the best to complete this fulfilled requirement. So for example, they said we are having a data sources, and how do you store it in the Google Cloud platform, which tool you will be using it for the data processing, how you are managing the data orchestration. So you will be having that kind of architecting skills after this course. So for 10 years guy, you will be expected to be the architecture. They'll not be expecting you to work in a development environment, but less companies working on a working very less companies expect you to work on the development, but most of the companies expect you to have architectural things. Okay, so this course will give you that. Yeah. Yes, anyone? Yes, Sagar. Guys, whoever already spoken, right? You can just unmute yourself. I mean, raise down your hands. Yes, Mustafa. Hi. Almost we are going to see a level 1, level 2, level 3. So we are going to have a very good knowledge. We are going to spend a lot of time there. If you need me to show you one of the things, so I'm going to have here, see, composer. So level 1, level 2, level 3, and you can see here, all of these things are codes only. Okay, we are going to write this entire codes one by one. Level 2, if you go to keep on going level 1 to level 3, it's an advanced one. So that is how we are going to spend all of these things. Okay. Yeah. Airflow is must. Yes. So it's a more of an analysis only. People will be asking you to do some kind of a table creations and analysis only, that they are going to focus on. So I'm going to take one of the Spotify data set. I'll try to tell you, or I'll give you some, table creations, and I'll tell you how do you solve these questions. I'll be having plenty of assignments also. Even you can look at it here in the BigQuery. You can see here case study. We are working on this case study. Okay, and we are having assignment for you. All of these tables, and these are the questions for you to tackle it. The answers also here. You can tackle it. All of these things. Okay, so this is a data set, and this is something for the Spotify data set with answers. and with the insights and recommendation for this entire project. Yeah. Yes, Rahul. Yes. 3 months. You can create one more account. Okay. Yeah. For practice, you can create one more account. You wanted to continue, you can pay the money. Okay. Sir, I wanted to continue with an account. You can pay the money from your account. But if you wanted to have a free account, you can create a one more account on yours. Yeah. Okay, guys. I think this. Yeah. Someone asking. Yes. Yes. No, no, no. It's a data engineer only. The minimum experience you can have is 2 years. So if you are having 2 years of experience, you can put that 2 years as a GCP data engineer. You can go for the job. So yeah, covered. Yes, covered here. Yes, yes. We are going to cover the Terraform for 2 sessions. Yes. Yeah, for about 3 to 4 years of experience, someone is asking about the package. It depends, guys, but I would say that the decent package for the 3 to 4 years is 16 LPA, 15 to 16 LPA. You will be getting it with this course. Yes, don't worry. The packages are there, opportunities are there. It's just that you have to learn it, you have to crack it. Okay, learn it and crack the interview. That's the main important for you guys to spend. Yeah. Next to 2 months, if you are having a journey with me, right, I'm going to give you the knowledge and just focus on it. After 1 month itself, I will send you the resumes for you to create your resume templates. I will send you some previous job holders who have got the jobs and who have created their resume. I will send you those resumes only, and you can prepare your resume after 1 month itself. Don't wait for the 2 months to complete the entire course. After 1 month or 1 month 10 days, you can create your resume, upload your resume in Naukri and some other portals. You can attend the interviews, start attending the interviews. That gives you some idea. You maybe not be able to crack it in the first 2 companies or third company. Maybe from the fourth company onwards, you are going to keep cracking it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you all. Have a great day. Bye bye. We'll meet you soon at the same time tomorrow at the 7:30 to 8:30, guys. We are having a session tomorrow. Thank you, guys.